There's going to be a really quick video that'll walk us through cropping an image that you put onto your sheet, making it the right scale, adding some dimensions to it, cutting a section through a wall, and putting some callouts on that section. Alright, so if you started adding things to your sheet here, the sheet that you made, you might notice that what you add is, well, huge. I have this floor plan here. The floor plan is tiny, and the window that it adds is kind of huge, and that's kind of annoying. So, to fix that, I'm going to go back to my floor plan over here for the floor. Alright, there's my nice utility shed. I'm going to zoom out. Now, down here on the little toolbar, the little visibility tools, there's a crop view button and a hide crop region. Now, probably by default, your crop region is hidden. So if you press it the first time, it'll show you this is the crop region, right? And now you want to make sure that is being cropped. So now it's too big. So I'm going to take these sliders and bring it in closer to the edge of the shed itself. If you have site components, I wouldn't worry about putting the site components in there. For a floor plan, you want just the floor plan. Alright, so that's much more reasonable. Now we adjusted that here. Now do we need to add it to our sheet again? Actually, no. It's going to update itself. If I go back to my utility shed, there we go. It updated itself. Alright, so now I can put that right there. But it's still a little too small. If I zoom in, this says it's by default it's 1/8 of an inch to every 1 foot. Alright, so we want to make that a little bigger. So back to my floor plan. Instead of being 1/8 of an inch to a foot, right down here, again in the visibility section, I have lots of options to go with. So it's my 1/8 of an inch to a foot. I'm going to go slightly larger. Every foot I want it to be 1/4 inch. So as I go up on this scale, it makes the image larger. Going down, it makes it smaller. So 1 inch, where am I? 1/4 inch is going to be 1 foot. Alright, there we go. Go back and check my sheet. Scroll down, utility shed. There we go, that's much more reasonable size. Alright, so floor plan, 1/4 inch is pretty good. For the elevations, 1/8 inch is fine because you just want to see the front and the side. For your wall section, you're going to want to make that probably 1/2 an inch to a foot so you see a little more detail in there. I have it a little too small on this one here. I could probably give up some space in the size, arrange these so that they work out well. But let's take a look at that wall section. So back on my floor plan here, you can see I made one cutting through that wall right there. And what I did, I went right to View, which is what I'm in now, and I went to Section right there. So it's going to, again, give me into the Section tool. I'm going to click once to start it, click a second time to stop it, and, well, that's it, basically. This shows me how deep I want this to go. I'm going to leave it with the default, and as soon as you make one of those, it's going to show up in my Sections tab right down here. And if you didn't have one originally, you do have one now. So open up Section 1, and there's the section of the wall I just made. Now, right now I'm in the wireframe mode, so I don't see any detail. If I want to change that, I go down to my visibility section. Shaded should be good enough, and I get some shaded options in there. If I go down to realistic, okay, so I don't have the settings set up so that you see the layers, but I originally did. If I go back through the wall section I first made when I first made this, you should be able to see the different sections here in different colors. So you have the gypsum, you have the softwood lumber, the framing, you have the plywood sheathing, you have the clapboard on the outside. The last thing you want to do on your wall section here is actually add these callouts so you know what these sections are. To do that, you're actually annotating the drawing. So when you want to annotate, you're going to add some text, which is up here. You have some options for how you do that. You don't want to add floating text by itself. You want a leader on that. So you have a 2-segment one, you have a straight one, you have a curved one. I like the 2 segments. It's good enough. You click once for the arrow, another one for where it's going to turn, another one, and you start typing like so. Alright, it might look a little funky at first, but as soon as you're done, it'll move itself over to the end of the line. You can make as many of those as you need. Well, you want one for each layer of your section here. Alright, so I'm delete that on mine. So again, same thing with these views. Adjust your crop region, adjust your scale accordingly. Let's go back to my sheet. Oh, the last thing I needed, what I don't have on my floor plan, are dimensions. I need dimensions on that floor plan. I need to know how big that is, how big the room is inside. So again, go back to my floor plan. I don't need 2 sections. I'm going to delete this other one here. So now I can go to annotate and align dimensions, or there is a little shortcut up here as well called align dimension. And I want to hover over the places where I need. All right, go away. Where are the places? Now by default it'll usually snap to the middle of a wall, but I want to measure to the edge of a wall. So if I press tab, it'll usually cycle through the interior, exterior, and the middle of the wall. So middle of the wall, the first click establishes the first point. Second one, again, I want to get to the end. I'll press tab, hovering over it, and that's the middle. And the last click, the third click, tells me where to put that dimension. I might as well keep it close to the house. There's nothing else in the way, and that would be 12 feet right there. All right, so I'm going to do that again for the other dimension. Where again, middle of the wall. I press tab. There I am. There I am. 16 feet. I'm also going to want to know where the middle of this wall is. So I usually go here now from outside wall to, I'm going to go to the middle of this wall and place that inside this room here. And then if I click, place that inside the room. If I click again, if I keep going, it'll continue the dimension out to the outside here. Now I have 2. So here's a better way to show the distance between both. Now I need to move my 16-footer here out a little bit so it's not overlapping the other 2. This shows me where that wall is from the inside. If you ever want to change this, I can highlight that dimension again. Double click. If I double click that middle up here, it'll cycle through the inside and outside of that wall. So double click to the middle, double click to the inside. Alright, so change my mind. Now it's to the inside of the wall. Alright, so I just need to know where this wall is. So one more, align to dimension, not to the middle. I'm going to go to the interior, to the middle, and then to the tab interior again. And there we go. And depending on the wall thicknesses and where you place them, you might get funky 3/8 here, 1/8 here. I wouldn't worry about that for now. Let's say I wanted to move this 12-footer over to where all this stuff is. You can do that. Just click and drag, and voila, there are dimensions. And since we updated that here, automatically in our sheet, that is ready to go. Now it does show the box around the outside. It shows the crop region. I don't really like that very much. So I'm going to go down here to my crop view, and I'm going to hide the crop view. Or hide, there we go, hide crop region. There's a little light bulb down there. Now I can double check and make sure. Yep, that one little thing has gone away. So there you go. There's creating your sheet. Now you